Good morning. It is 8 o'clock. It is the 11th day of Bah Humbug December Vlogmas Jingle Jam and the first day of Hanukkah. And I am your grumpy guide to all things gaming, the OGGM, with another OGGM adventure / story time. So let's talk about these things. And more specifically, the strangest thing I have in my dice bag, which is this weird Hell's Angels demonic looking piece of lead with a skull and wings on it. Definitely some type of motorcycle-y, Hell's Angel-y thing. It says Slam Master on it. This is a slammer from the fad of the late 80s, early 90s. The game before Magic, that was Pogs. Everybody remember Pogs? Everybody remember having to run and get Pogs and collect Pogs and play Pogs? This is a slammer from Pogs. This slammer has a very interesting story behind it. Perhaps a cursed story behind it. So to understand where this came from, a few years ago, Seth of Seth's Game and Anime here in Ventura had a chance to buy a collection of Pogs that had been sitting on the shelf of another game store for, well, since the late 80s, early 90s, whenever Pogs came out and then just stopped losing popularity. So he had a chance to buy out the complete inventory of Pogs that had been sitting on this shelves in this store for 10, 15 years. Why he chose to buy them? I guess in some strange, weird way, he thought he was going to bring Pogs back and hit some kind of nostalgia button and people would be running to buy them, or at least use them as counters in Magic or cheap figures for D&D, or I don't know. But one day the store was just filled with these things. Filled with them. So, one night, after a rather short D&D game, we decided, let's play Pogs. None of us had, either played it in a long time. A few of us had never played it. So we looked up the rules. They're actually very simple. And we played Pogs. Everybody purchased one of the starter packs and went through the boxes and picked out the Pogs, and we played Pogs. And amongst them was this. This was in my surprise pack of Pogs. A strange lead slammer with this skull on it. And thus the Pog Wars began. Bam, 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 bam. So we're playing Pogs. We all had our slammers. We all had our stack of Pogs. I threw this Pog to slam a stack, and it bounced. And it hit my friend Roger Yoshida in the knee. Oh, I used to be an adventurer till I took an arrow to the knee. Yes. This Pog actually hit somebody in the knee. Shortly thereafter, we never saw Roger again. Did the Pog kill him? Or did his schedule just change? Or did the Pog kill him? But after that, more strange things began to happen. One day, an individual who used to be my friend by the name of Aaron went out to his car and found that his car was completely covered in Pogs. How the Pogs got there, why his car was completely covered in them, who did it, still remains a mystery to this day. All relating back to that fateful night where this Pog slammer hit Roger Yoshida in the knee, who then vanished shortly thereafter, and the Pog Wars began. The Pog Wars didn't end there because they continued. Every few days, I would find Pogs everywhere around the store. Or Robert would find Pogs in his food. You'd open the refrigerator in the back room. There'd be Pogs. You'd open a gaming book. It'd be filled with Pogs everywhere you looked. Pogs. Even people who were nowhere near the Pogs began to find the Pogs infesting them. My friend Tristan, former friend Tristan, who lived in a completely different city and we only saw every few weeks, called up and complained that he'd found Pogs in the back seat of his car. Another friend woke up one morning, pulled back the sheets, and just like The Godfather, there was Pogs in the pillow next to him. But still the greatest mystery behind this strange, Hell's Angels-looking slammer is the disappearance of Roger Yoshida after I hit him in the knee with it. Why does this exist? This is way too weird to be a normal slammer for Pogs. Why does it have a skull and wings on it? What is the story behind it? I've kept it ever since in my dice bag as a good luck charm, though the way my dice roll, maybe it's not a good luck charm. Maybe it's a cursed thing. Plus, it's a good storyteller and a good icebreaker. If anybody asks, what is that, after I pull out my dice? And yes, I do not have a lot of dice. I'm not a Laura Bailey. I don't need 10,000 dice. Just one good dice that actually rolls is all I need. Having more than that is sort of pointless. The fact that I have 3 sets is just because I DM, and sometimes you need to roll 2 dice. So this sits in my dice bag, occasionally coming out. Occasionally the story is repeated. And every now and then, it claims another one. Another person sees it. Another person questions it. And then that person is never seen again. So is it, in fact, the cursed Pog of the devil? Or simply coincidence? The Pog Wars lasted almost a year, which each side firing volleys of Pogs at the other, people finding Pogs in strange places, people who'd never even been to the store complaining about there were Pogs, people who, they would show up in every game, they would be everywhere. Suddenly somebody would walk down and there'd be Pogs just explode in their face, and then just as quickly the Pog Wars ended. The stock of Pogs sit on a shelf still at Seth's Games and Anime. I have no idea how many of them actually sold or just got thrown away because he realized it was why. I don't know what he was thinking, but eventually it came to an end and the Pogs were forgotten. Till now. But now that I've opened this bag and shown the accursed or blessed Pog of metal, will that door open again? Will the Pog Wars begin again? Or did they ever really end? You see me now, a victim of 1,000 Pog Wars. I leave it to you to ponder, as I ask you once again to take a moment to subscribe to this vlog. It helps you know what the next post is going to be, and helps me know what direction you want the OGGM adventures to take in 2021. And if you ever want to hear more stories about the Pog Wars, the best way is to subscribe. I'm your grumpy guide to all things gaming with a story of the past of gaming and the Pog Wars. Bum, 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 bum.